was just working on another project and I had leftover resin, so I decided to do this cute little coaster mold. So I'm also going to put these little green stones around the edge. I'm using Texpert resin. It's a 1-to-1 resin. It's a very clear, low bubble resin, so it's great for projects like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is put about 1 ounce of resin in with my gems. And the reason that I do that is when I put them in, I'm trying to avoid getting bubbles. So I'll stir that around in a minute, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my other stuff so that when I get started, my resin's really warm, so I do want to move kind of quickly. So I'm using Ranger alcohol inks. I have Juniper and Cosmopolitan. And I have my white that I used from a previous project. It's just CastinCraft. It is warming up a good bit now. My resin is at 45, so you can tell I've got to move this show on the road. So I'm going to hurry up, mix my beads. And then I'm going to move this closer to me so I can see. I don't know the best way to use this little cup and get them in there. I'm going to slowly go around the edge. You probably can't see. Let me see if I can do this so you can see. I have short arms, so it's kind of hard. Get them all jammed in there. It's okay if it's not perfectly done right now. I'm going to go through and push them down a little bit more. We'll probably still get bubbles, so I'll have to monitor this a little more than my usual projects for bubbles. But hopefully, because we did the pre-resining, it won't be quite as bad. Still have some more left. Let me get some more in there. Resin is super thick because it's so warm. It's a little bit harder to manipulate, but it's working. Just trying to make sure I've got the spots covered with all my stones. This is looking pretty good, right? All right, so I think we're gonna go with that. That looks pretty good. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is pour my resin in the mold. Remember, I don't wanna pour too much resin because a bloom the white will just fall to the bottom. So I'm just gonna pour in enough to cover the bottom. Still have a good bit of resin left over. I'm gonna have to work on another project. Do I want to put more? That's the question. Question of the day. Do I want to put more? Let me see if I can just move this over onto the beads. All right. Now my white was in this batch, so it is the same temperature as this, so it is very warm. The other thing that I'm wondering whether it's going to happen is I'm using good alcohol inks, the Cosmopolitan and Juniper by Ranger, and so they're high ink content. So it'll be interesting to see how much they move in a very warm resin. Hey, sorry, dogs are going nuts. It looks like it's doing pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't move well at all. And then I'm gonna trying to decide how many green drops. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put them in all the way And I think my center closed up more than I wanted it to. So I might put another drop in the center. Because I do want to see the pink. All right, now we got that done. We can go to our white. I put it in a piping bag earlier, and it's nice and toasty warm now. And my next, I'm just pushing it up to the end. Next, I'm just deciding how I want to do this. I'm going to say still spiral from the center. And go out a little bit for places where it's out. I think that's good. I still have a ton of white. I'm gonna have to find another project to do. All right, so for this one, I want more of a carnation look. So I'm gonna go, carnation or rose actually. So I'm gonna go in everywhere. I'm gonna do all innies. Trying to think of the easiest way to do this so that I remember to do all of them. All right, so those are all innies. Do I want to do anything else? You know what? I might go ahead and do last 3 outies. It won't be 3 in all the spots because it's a spiral, so they're not all even. That gave it a little something, right? Now, for my center, I'm going to use my stones again. Might be a little harder to move now because they're really thick. And I don't need a lot because this is a really small mold. So let's see how that looks, whether it's enough. And I think it will be enough. I don't want it to be too big or too much. Maybe, let's grab a small stone. Grab a small stone and put it in this one spot that might be off. All right. Well, what do you think? We'll come back in a little bit and put it back on it, and I have no idea what that's going to be yet, but it'll be fun deciding. All right, we are back today to unmold our little dish. I backed it with some just black resin paste, just a cheap one got off of Amazon, and I mixed a little of this Marbler's silver dark gray color in it. So let's see how it turned out. Doesn't quite want to come out of the mold easily. All right, I think that came out pretty cool. Look at the sides. Very pretty. The bloom looks perfect, especially with the black. Can't really tell that the stones are green, but look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous.